So we've talked about Angela Kinyua. She is a portfolio director at Montgomery.
Anza tena bro.
Tuanza na portfolio ama na Angela.
Tuanza na Angela.
Okay. Breathe, brother.
Angela Kinyua is a portfolio director. This one now, you've already jinxed it.
No, just Montgomery.
Montgomery Group, East Africa. Angela, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the hot seat of the situation.
Santi sana.
Mm-hmm. You'll tell us a lot about Montgomery Group, but also you're here because we want to talk about the state of packaging, printing, plastics, and food processing industry in this region. We'll get to understand more about it. Siti, why don't you give the director of Montgomery Group the day's proverb?
Yes, our proverbs for the whole of this week have been from the Republic of the Seychelles. A little tree grows.
Start.
If a little tree grows, thank you, in the shadow of a large tree, it will die small.
If a little tree grows in the shadow of a large tree, it will die small.
Yes.
Angela, what's your interpretation of this proverb?
Well, I have to say, first, I wasn't expecting that proverb, but that's really good. But it means that we should be able to make space and let other people grow in their own light. Because I think my interpretation is that the shadow for that tree is actually not allowing light to come to the small one. And that's why it's dying. That's why it's dying very small.
Siti?
She understands ecology better than I did.
Very good.
It's true. Very true.
Okay. What's the Montgomery Group?
So, Montgomery Group as a whole is a company that started in 1895. 1895, over 120 years old.
1895.
Yes.
Okay.
In the 19th century.
Yes.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah, and we are a family-owned business. Our headquarters are in London, but in Kenya we came in from the year 2012. Mm-hmm. We are a B2B events organizing company. When I say B2B events organizing company, it's business to business. And our purpose is to serve our world, to develop relationships and nurture opportunities. So everywhere we go, that's what we try and do. In our events, that's our purpose. To serve, to nurture relationships, and to develop opportunities.
What kind of events? When you say events, what do we mean?
So I'll first focus in Kenya, or in East Africa actually. So in Kenya right now we have 3 events in our portfolio. We have one called ProPack East Africa, which is a printing, packaging, plastics and processing exhibition. It's mainly focused for the manufacturing industry. We have a Kenya food, drink and hospitality event. This is for, again, the hospitality sector, still B2B. And we have a security, occupational safety, fire and tech exhibition. Yes.
ProPack. That's why we're here.
Yes.
What's it all about?
So ProPack is a printing, packaging, plastics processing exhibition.
Printing, packaging, plastics, processing.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So it's in the manufacturing sector. And we hold it every year. And the reason for this is that it's to create opportunities for the different manufacturers in Kenya to be able to source products from different exhibitors, from even just knowledge sharing as well, from associations, from industry innovation industry leaders. So it's basically a networking exhibition. So it's business to business. And one of the key areas we focus on, I know everyone keeps on asking, what's ProPack? Yeah. So we have ProPack in Kenya. We have it in Ghana. We have it in Nigeria. We have it in South Africa, both in Cape Town and in Johannesburg. And a lot of people just think it's just pro packaging, which you can actually say it's that. But then what it is actually an exhibition to be able to develop manufacturing in all these countries. Because if you look at it, in any economy, manufacturing is what really drives. You can be able now to move to the next level if your manufacturing is okay. Look at Germany, where they are right now. Their manufacturing is really good. Italy. So those are so we are looking at developing the manufacturing sector in Africa so that we can, again, be a reference point for other countries.
Manufacturing of everything or manufacturing of packaging?
Manufacturing of everything. Because, like packaging is everywhere. Yeah, when you even buy your clothes, they come wrapped.
Yeah.
That's packaging. Yeah, they come wrapped. They'll be wrapped. Actually, let me even show you this. So this was from. So this year we invited the Tunisian government so that they can learn also for what you're doing. So they came with. So we had Propac just this week. It just ended yesterday. So Tunisia is very good in olive oil. So when you're talking about packaging, you're looking at. We talk about circularity and reuse of packaging. So you see this, when you look at it, what does it look like? Like you can see it, it's very smart, it's nice. But then what's actually in here, Lord, is there olive oil?
Allah.
Yeah. So you can imagine it's really smart, it's really nice. So we're looking at we're going beyond, that's why you're talking about innovation. Yeah.
So that's olive oil that's
this is
packed
olive
like that.
oil. Yeah.
What did you think it was when you looked at the package?
It could be perfume.
I thought so too,
Yeah.
something like that, right?
Yeah. It's extra virgin olive oil. So when you're looking at it, we are also trying to push our own producers to be as innovative. Like you want to be able to have, so this kind of packaging is reusable. Because I'm a lady, I can easily remove this and put all my, beadwork, etc. in there and use it way after. Yeah, so it doesn't. So I don't have to actually just throw it out. And even the bottle itself, I can easily even just put a spray bottle on top, put sanitizer inside, and everyone who comes to my house can be able to just spray their hands and use it. So we are trying to make sure that when somebody is packaging, they're thinking beyond. I'm not just thinking about when I use the olive oil I've cooked or I've used it on my hair. I just throw it and continue with life. We're saying it has to go. I have to think about the end cycle. What will Angela do when she buys with this olive oil with the packaging that I put after it?
Okay. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. So what are the trends when it comes to this sector, printing, packaging? I can see when you say you're encouraging people to be more creative, to think about the end, where this product will end, because that's a conversation we've had many conversations here on what are people doing when they're thinking about the packaging for their products, the end use of this, and how it goes into the circular economy. What are the trends now when it comes to packaging and printing and such material being manufactured?
So when it comes to the trends, a lot of people are now moving to clear bottles. Yeah, that's one of the things. Of course, you say with Coca-Cola, who moved the Sprite bottle to clear, and now Biofood is actually in the process of changing their cups to become clear, because these are easier to be able to recycle. They even began with the adhesive, because you have to think about when you have, like, let's say your water bottle, when you're peeling out the label, is it actually damaging the bottle? Is it easy to be recycled? And if you even look at this, back to my example, instead of putting labeling, they've engraved. So that's some of the things that people are doing, because that is also waste that can be avoided. You'd rather engrave rather than having an adhesive or paper around it. Yeah. Of course, there's also the part that we are also getting, a lot of people are getting rid of straws that are not biodegradable. Also in terms of even like right now, if you look at mini company gift bags, they're all things that are made of biodegradable or compostable material. Yeah, so they're small moves, but if you look at it, they make a big impact, because these are things that people use to a day-to-day basis. And we also have, now these days, we have a lot of companies that are in recycling. So it's recycled PET. So you have people like T3 who have, they recycle the bottles that we use. And also there's a push now to standardize the bottle tops. If you look at the bottle tops of your drinks, water, some sodas and some soft drinks, they're all different. But then, so that means that when it comes to recycling, it becomes very hard to recycle them. So there's a push to standardize that, so that when you're recycling, it's the same for everyone.
Is it industry-led or is it policy-led, this push?
It's both ways. There's a lot of industry-led, because of course a lot of companies, like even ourselves as Montgomery Group, we have environmental sustainability policy. And also people wonder, okay, invest, manufacturing, why do you have a sustainable policy? But what we believe is that we cannot be preaching what we don't practice. So, like, even for us, there are things that we are aiming for net zero events by 2050. So we also look at the impact our events have on the environment and also in our organization. And at the same time, we also push our suppliers. So I'd go to the venue and ask them, if, by the time I'm going to Sarich Center for the venue, like, what is your sustainability policy? What are you doing to make things more sustainable? So at the same time, there's that also push from the industry, because internally, companies have a sustainability policy. So they're also pushing their suppliers. And also that we have associations such as KEPRO, Kenya Producer Responsibility Organization, who's also been leading that talk, and also PACPRO, which was formerly PETCO.
You know, every time I hear of an organization that does what you say you do, I'm actually, every time it's mentioned, I'm actually less informed than I was before. And it's not because what you're doing doesn't make sense. It is what I think it's supposed to represent. So now, for me, it's a journey now. And so far, we're doing okay. I'm beginning to understand what it is you do, but let me understand. What was the thinking behind setting this thing up, those in the 19th century? And how has it evolved to where we are now?
Okay, so our founder, what happened was one of the industries in London was suffering. Yeah, the trade was really low. Of course, there's a lot of political things happening at that time, and they just sat down and asked themselves, like, how can I be able to help this industry? Yeah, and he did, like, he just put them in together, put stalls, paid even for everything, and asked guys to be able to come and see their products. Yeah, so that was it was a very simple move, but now that was our beginning.
The entry point.
Yes. And then from there, we have been slowly expanding, sharing our knowledge, because for us, it's really, like, as you said, the tree and the small tree. It doesn't make sense for one person to go and the other one doesn't. So even in terms of the larger exhibition companies, we are always, they're part of us. Some of them have part of our events, which we sold, which is sold to them. And also we sit down with them and exchange ideas. So we are part of something called the AEO, Association of Exhibition Organizers, where we just want to make the industry grow, make sure that you're sharing knowledge and everyone is actually improving over time.
Okay. Which industries have you worked with in Kenya?
Companies? Oh, quite a number. So depending, so let me just stick with ProPack first. So in terms of ProPack, we've worked with companies such as TechPack, CDEL, Tetra Pak, Mr. Green Trading, All-in Packaging. Honestly, I can go, like this week, we had over 150 exhibitors, and over 80% of them were Kenyans. So I'd probably name about 90 companies thereabouts if I continue.
So there are many that actually are involved in this, in doing packaging.
Yes.
Right? How many of them are in plastic?
Quite a
and
number.
How many are in other biodegradable stuff?
So you'll find that, okay, I'll highlight a few who are in mostly, like, you can say recycling, because you see it's a whole, that's why you call it like almost an ecosystem. So the reason we have even the packaging, printing, plastics and processing together is because when you look at it, let me just can I bring it down a bit?
Okay.
Is that, imagine me as a tea farmer, yeah? So I've harvested my tea, my leaves are over there. I won't say it like more logically, but we'll try and see. So I have my leaves and I want to have my tea leaves later on, yeah? Like now, so that I can go to the consumer.
Yes.
So it means that I need a machine that can wash the leaves, that can dry it, that can grind it. Then I'll have to be able to pack it in something that won't let air come in. Then something nice for you to be able to see and see whatever my name is. And then now it goes outside. So you see, between that process, what have I done? I have done processing, I have done packaging, I have printing on that label. And plastics now comes in because I can also choose to change any of the packaging that I have in that thing. So you'll find that all these companies, they kind of have more or less like 2 or 3 items on them.
Right.
Yeah, because by the time I'm offering you a solution for my tea factory, then you've touched on the processing, on the packaging, on the printing.
Right. So you'll find that all of them are being many of these companies offering the printing and doing the packaging for you.
Yes.
And also offering maybe some advisory on branding.
Yes.
Right?
And processing.
And the processing part of it.
Okay. So, I mean, with all of this, when you look at packaging and you talk about the materials that are being used and how it has evolved over time, the climate issue, the environment issue often always comes into play. So what happens with policy and responsibility when it comes to, so we can say, yes, I mean, we're working on making sure that packaging on a whole looks better. It's more appealing to the customer, to the client. But where is the sustainability angle? Does that come in here?
Yeah.
And protection of the environment and things like this.
Definitely. So there is policy that is pushing all. So that's where KEPRO is there, is to push all producers to be responsible and their items to be traceable from the time that they are leaving them to the end of the life cycle. Yeah, and that's now where I come to the extended producer responsibility, because before we were just concentrating on, okay, fine, this is your package, you have it, take your blue band container, take whatever container that you have and do whatever you want to do with it. But now we are putting the manufacturer responsible and saying that you release this to the market.
Yeah.
So where does it end at? We want the traceability until the end of the life cycle. It's no longer my responsibility as a consumer or the government or the county's responsibility. It's now the responsibility of the producer to make sure that they're not polluting the environment with whatever they're producing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've hosted these conversations before, like I said. We even had the Recyclers Association, and we're talking about how vibrant that industry is. Just still talking about the extended producer responsibility and what happens and how they work with them. But then often you'll think, as a producer, I have been, working on the processing, the packaging, the printing, and putting it in the market, and I start making money out of it, because the whole idea is for me to make money.
Of course.
Now you've added this other responsibility of I have to think where it ends after the first use, whether it's how it's going to be collected, how it's going to be reused, I have to start thinking about that. That becomes a cost. Are the industry players mentioning the cost? Are they talking about, so this, because of, I have to do this now, because of, I want to be a responsible person, so I've joined KEPRO, so I've signed on to the, MOUs and everything. I want to have the extended producer responsibility, but it's costing me something. What's its cost?
No, at the end of the day, like, especially when this word started being thrown around, because at times sustainability felt like it's
a buzzword.
Yeah.
It's just
fad. And we were trying to have a lot of conversations with these companies, because you're just throwing this to me, but you're not breaking it down for my steps.
Yeah.
You get, and we have been hosting meetings and webinars with many of the producers to be able to make sure that they understand it's a step-by-step process. Like when I even give an example for our company, we are moving to net zero events by 2050. Was it possible that quick? Would have actually not had 2050 in that tagline. Would have been 2025, 2020. Yeah, exactly. So it's a step-by-step process, and at the end of the day, honestly, there is an investment that is being put in, but then when you look at the long run, when you look at your business in a long-term basis, it ends up being more, can I say, it's going to be more profitable for you in the long run. Yeah, and not only because consumer preferences are changing, so it means that if you're still having your old kind of packaging, I as a consumer can just refuse to buy your product, because I also am feeling responsible as a consumer. And at the same time, as people are being more innovative, you also have to keep up. We have a responsibility to be sustainable in our innovation. Otherwise, our innovation will not be able to keep up with the market.
Yeah, but also have a responsibility to my shareholders to give them value. Right?
Yes, you do.
And the value that they're looking at, my shareholders, is the dividend I'm giving back to them. So is this responsibility coming at a cost to my bottom line?
Yeah, there is a cost, honestly. There is a cost.
So how do you now navigate when you're having this conversation and trying to bring somebody on board and show them, the need for responsibility? How do you justify it against cost?
Basically, what we try and do is break it down for them in terms of a step-by-step basis, as I said. But then the main thing is that where we are at, it's almost move or die. Do or die. And at the end of it all, it's the good thing is that it's a step-by-step process. It's not too heavy over time. If you look at even people like biofoods, they've been doing it incrementally, and that's what you're going for. Incremental change. We're not asking someone to completely change their whole line, but now it's an incremental change. Like, you can think about it like when a person is trying to lose weight. We're not asking you to lose all the weight in like 10 days. We're telling you this: today, skip the pizza. Yeah. Tomorrow, do this and this. So it's incremental change for the company. So what can I do today that can be able to make me more of a responsible producer, but then not affect too much of my bottom line at the same time? But then even for the shareholders, over time, they realize that if you do not take these steps, in 4 years' time,
we'll be dead.
Yeah, we'll be dead. You'll be a forgotten story.
Let's take a break. It's 28 minutes to 8. Our guest this morning is Angela Kinyua. She's a portfolio director at Montgomery Group East Africa. So you said you are a B2B event organizing company. Founded in 18 what again?
95.
And in Kenya, you've been here since 2020?
2012.
Since 2012, yes. We're talking about the state of packaging, printing, plastics, and food processing industry in East Africa. They just had the ProPack East Africa event in Nairobi. Many companies coming to exhibit to have conversations, and that's what we want to hear. What conversations are they having? The event that you hosted, Angela, it brought together several people to come and exhibit. So basically, they are talking to one another. What are they doing there? Are they sharing ideas, best practice? Are they trading with one another? What's the point of bringing fish into one fish tank?
I like that. So, yes, we had over almost 150 exhibitors. Yeah, but we also had about 5,000 people walking through the doors. So you can imagine that mix. And out of of course, also with the 150 exhibitors, an exhibitor is not coming by themselves, because we had people who are on large stands, etc. So basically, we had about 600 exhibitors in the hall. So you have 600 exhibitors, networking 5,000 visitors. There's a lot of exchange of ideas. There's business. Yeah, like there's a company a local company called Zaka that actually sold a machine on site, because they just did a pitch. A person was like, this is what I need for my business. Bought it there and then. Of course, so there's business. There is also there's people who can realize that you can be able to partner. So we have a company called like Bobst, which is usually in the Middle East. So now they came here and they've partnered now with a Kenyan company called Multigraph. So because now they realize that their solution works here, Multigraph can be able to add this and this. So now they come and partner together. In terms of our visitors, we as a company as well, because we call ourselves ProPack East Africa. So what we do is that we go beyond and we fly in people from Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Ethiopia, DRC. And as also I know East Africa is not Tunisia is not in East Africa, but also them. So we brought them in as well, so they can be able to exchange ideas. When you look at a manufacturer in Ethiopia, can be able to tell a manufacturer in Kenya, like, this is what I've been doing. This is what I need. And then again, you see, in terms of our exhibitors, like we had the Austria pavilion. So the Austrian government paid for Austrians to be able to come and showcase their products. Italy did the same. We had exhibitors from Germany, from Canada, from all these places. So what are these exhibitors doing? They're also coming to be able to see what can we be able to learn from the East African market, and at the same time, what can we also be able to share with them? To sell and also to share, because also at the same time, they're also seeing what solutions do we need, because our economy is very different from theirs. Yeah, and then also the solutions we make that they need. So they're also coming to see where is the exchange that can be here. And it's really good. It's a very vibrant environment, because you learn so much. Honestly, in like 3 days, your head, you feel like you need like maybe 10 weeks to be able to digest everything that you've learned. And even like in terms of our conferences, like this time we had an American university that sent down their students to be able to talk, their MBA students, to be able to talk about packaging in America and do a comparison with what you're talking about packaging in East Africa. So you can see the kind of conversations that are going on. Yeah, there's a lot of innovation being talked about, success stories, failures, because that's one of the ways to be able to learn. Yeah.
As we look at East Africa, are we looking at that? Because essentially it's manufacturing as well.
Yes.
Right? Are we looking at these as East African honed ideas, or are we looking at brought in ideas? Because I think that I'm starting to become a champion for things that are birthed here, because we see that essentially they contribute significantly to the economic growth of countries. So are we looking at ideas that are brought from outside and then now they're duplicated? Or are we looking at homegrown ideas from here that can contribute significantly to industry and economy here?
We are actually looking at homegrown ideas and also the enhancement of homegrown ideas. So most of these companies are already doing manufacturing by the time they're coming. Yeah, may that be MSMEs or they be a bit large organizations. So all of them, I had an idea, I decided, fine, I'll go and manufacture this item. These are homegrown ideas. So all we're doing is like assessing, can I do this better? What can I learn from here? Yeah, and trying to now scale it up. I think during the conference, I think one of our associations was talking about, we want to move from value addition to value multiplication. You know, so we want to make sure you can be able to multiply the value that us manufacturers in East Africa are doing. We want to take them the level up, a next level up. There's something called the Markup Access Program. This is market access upgrade program that is being run by the International Trade Center and the EAC. And this program is meant to be able to help the companies in East Africa to have global competitiveness, you know, export-led growth, you know, taking them to the next level. And that's what actually we're pushing even for this, in this edition of ProPac. We want our manufacturing industry in Africa to go to the next level. So that we're just not only importing, because you are able. It is just not us trying to make sure that we've given a platform for them to be able to exchange the knowledge.
Okay.
I'm sure when they come and they're exchanging ideas, you'll find that people in a certain market will talk about how easy or difficult it is for them to do their business, and they'll come to policy and regulation, right? So does the local industry then take up the ideas that they've learned and gleaned from such meetings and events and add them into their advocacy for policy, for regulatory framework, for laws, for taxes? And from previous events, have you seen a movement in that direction?
Yeah, definitely. The previous year, we did have WTO had sent some of the guys because we work with many organizations. So when you look at, let's leave the exhibitors aside and the visitors. So we have the associations. So we have the Kenya Association of Manufacturers. So we also have the African Packaging Organization, World Packaging Organization. Last time we brought the Egyptian Packaging Organization. So now you see when these organizations sit down, yeah, they're able to. So our visitors and our exhibitors have had all the issues that you're having.
Yeah.
So these are discussed now within the associations. Then the associations now also rally up and push, so that now policy can be able to make the market to shape the market the way they need to be shaped for them to be able to work for them. So we definitely, like for us, we feel like, okay, we know that the associations are very important.
Yeah.
And we try and support them as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we try to integrate them so that so we work with as many associations as possible, so they can be able to, not only one is pushing, they're pushing now from all corners, which now becomes a lot of noise and a good push at the end of the day.
Have we seen growth in this sector in Kenya? Where we are seeing establishment of companies that are involved in the packaging space? Or have we seen them actually shrinking and shutting down? Because what our manufacturing sector has been dropping, it's not been growing. So what does that mean? That there's no more packaging, or there's less packaging?
No, I think, okay, so this time the conference was opened by Dr. Juma Mukwana, the PS of Industry and Trade. And he was saying, like, one of the things that people are not looking at in terms of manufacturing is that when somebody is thinking about manufacturing, I am thinking at a large level, yeah? But you know, like, there's also what you call the MSME industry, yeah? And they are actually growing. There's the Juakali sector. They're also manufacturers, and they are growing. And also our industry, honestly, if you look at where we were in, say, when you like 2019 and where we are now, there's a significant growth. There's been a bit of change, of course, the economic situation, but there is growth in these sectors. And the government right now is also, like, their hand is in there, trying to push their manufacturing agenda. Through the MSMEs, through the Market Access Program, through the Manufacturing Agenda 2023, all these are programs that are being pushed to be able to ensure that you have an effective manufacturing sector.
do you see that there continues to be an appetite, whether it's from individuals? Because this is the thing, right? That you see how you can develop and how you can innovate and how you can make things more sustainable, if you're talking about it from that, or things more aesthetically pleasing, or something that somebody can then take and then repurpose it for something else, right? Do we see that there is an appetite for, truth be told, the fairer things of life, whereby you're now saying, well, like, I'd like something different. I go to a conference, for example, don't just put it in a paper bag anymore. Don't give me the book and the thing in a paper bag anymore. But if I see a beaded thing, or if I see a gold embossed box, I'm more likely to endear myself to it. Do we see that those things, that, the desire for the fairer, the more aesthetic things continue to grow?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially in our market, it's really, really been growing. Fairer and also sustainable. So like from the point of, so even as we had a push, so before we used to provide water for exhibitors, and sadly a lot of it included a bit of plastic. Yeah. But now we were actually pushed to be able to partner with a water company that now just put filtered water, and everyone had to carry their own bottle.
Right.
Yeah, to be able to put water inside and then take it to your stand, you drink from there. So now putting it towards zero, like so that there's no zero, like the zero plastic use. Yeah, in terms of the water. And you'll find that even in terms of packaging, people are looking at how are you packaging your soap? If you look at even the days when you go to the supermarket, the soap packaging has begun to change. Yeah, before it used to be a bit different. Yeah, now you can see there's more brown use, something that looks like paper. It looks really pretty. You feel like you can be able to actually put the packaging later on at the side. Yeah, and it's also biodegradable and it's also compostable. So the consumers are also pushing for things that are, yes, aesthetically pleasing, but also sustainable, because there's also a level of guilt when you use something that I know, like I take a plastic bottle and you see it like somebody throwing out the window, you feel like you'll actually stop your car or something, or even if you're walking, and be like stop damaging our environment when you've taken so many steps to try making it better.
Paul is asking, what's the industry doing to innovate packaging to replace single-use plastics? I think that's one part of it. What's in the market currently is flimsy, breaks easily. Isn't it about time that we started bringing back kiondos and bamboo and fiber and such for packaging?
Okay, I agree with Paul in terms of using, like, I think it was Thailand who have changed their water bottles to be all bamboo done. Yeah, so they're all bamboo water bottles.
So they're not bottles.
Yeah, they're made by bamboo. Yeah, so they're, what can you call them? Yeah, they're still bottles.
No, you are right.
They're water stems.
A bottle doesn't have to be plastic or glass.
Exactly.
No.
Yes, exactly.
It could even be metal.
Precisely. Exactly, yes. And so there's a push for that as well. There are many people who are trying to do that. And also there's a company in Kenya that has also been doing a lot of 3D printing that is sustainable. So they've been taking plastics, they recycle them, and then they do 3D printing, which is really, it's like really cool. It's like level up. Yeah, I usually just love whatever they've been able to do. But at the same time, in terms of, as innovation comes, if I can just take it to like a sector like car manufacturing, as we're going to smart cars like Tesla. They've had a bit of issues, with their cars.
A bit.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, let's be kind. A bit of issues. And it's the same thing as we are trying to innovate to a new thing. There has to be trial and error. There's going to be flimsy things. And all you can do is be able to support and be able to exchange ideas so we can improve. Of course, the first thing that you do, it's like the first car that we made was not what we have right now.
Yeah.
But those are small steps until where we are right now. And all you can do is support and encourage until we are able to reach where we want to be.
The work that you do in events, does it only limit your work to industry, or does it also just look at, should we say, events? Let's say, for instance, there's a music concert.
Yeah.
There's a car exhibition.
Okay. Yeah.
Does your work cover all this?
So our work, okay, I'd say my particular work, yes, we are focused on the industries that we serve, but then also we do provide support and advice to other industries as well.
Right. Very good. Meaning can these other industries also seek a partnership with you?
Yeah, of course, definitely. We are, like, as I said, we try to nurture relationships. We want to nurture as many relationships as possible. Because again, there's no one place that exists in a silo. Yeah, manufacturing at some point, they're human beings. Yeah, the manufacturers who are manufacturing are human beings. They'll end up in a concert.
Okay, everything that I've heard you say, well, the conversation is about how it is you assist. In this process, do you make money at all?
That is our aim. That is definitely our aim. To make money. But one of the things we say is that we have to be ethically commercial.
Yes.
Yeah.
This you have to explain, please. Yes.
Yeah. So you see, like, you have to make sure that as we are in our aim to make money, we have to be ethical about it. We have to be ethical about how we are going about it. Yeah. It's our responsibility to be able to make sure that the industries that we are in, we leave them better than we found them. Yeah. And also our practice, our business ethics, must be above par, such that we are not so greedy for money, or we are hunting down money, trying to make it our bottom line, such that we affect or hurt those industries. Or do things that are untoward. Let me just say untoward for other words.
Okay. What about impact on society? I mean, this is obvious that there's impact. When we look at more sustainable, when we look at more, again, we're looking at aesthetics and looking at organizations, companies coming together so that the policy that you then employ essentially are on the same line. What about impact to other parts of society? Because obviously this is learning, it is resource. What about those who are coming up?
Oh yeah, the ones who are coming up, we do, like, an example, like the MSMEs. So we've partnered with the MSME organization, which is part of the government, to be able to ensure that the small and medium enterprises are being nurtured. They're being shown the right way. Because you see, that one thing is that you'll find that if you set an older manufacturer has gone through some hurdles, has known what works, what doesn't work in this market. So they're able to be mentors for these people. The market access program is meant to be able to help them to level up. Yeah, we want to be able to help them to level up, to be able to reach global competitiveness. Yeah. So in terms of the impact, we see it in almost every sector. Yeah. So example, we had ProPack East Africa. It's a packaging manufacturing exhibition. But what happened? We had airlines having business, for everyone who's coming in. Accommodation in Westlands, the hotels were there, they were full. Of course, there are many people who had to be able to employ people to be able to come and do things. Yeah. So there's also a lot of job creation that has been done. Yeah. There's been a lot, like, I think even after that meeting, because now there are many packaging organizations represented from the region that have now decided that every year they'll be sitting down, assessing the policies, and be able to, like, move forward now during ProPack East Africa. So you find that there's a huge impact, and it goes all around, just even beyond us. Yeah.
Is the market rewarding companies that are going green, that are thinking better packaging?
Oh, definitely. Like, for,
how so?
So like for ProPack, I'd say with us, I'll start with us. So we, like, even this year, we hosted what you call the AfriStar Awards. So this is awards for African packaging. Yeah. So what we do is that you're given criteria to be able to showcase your packaging. So you're able to send it in, experts sit down, judge it, and this is the whole of Africa. Yeah. And at the end of it, you're able to win if your packaging is good enough. And also this goes towards different categories, which also include sustainable packaging. And this is really huge for most of those companies, and they really, really strive to have it, because it means that you are being able to distinguish yourself in Africa with your packaging. And at the next level, we take you to the gold star. We take you to gold star, then we take you to the world packaging. So after that, after you win the gold star, when you have the gold star, you can be able now to go to the world packaging. You know, as an African company, you can be able to go to the world packaging, and now your packaging is assessed around now amongst other countries in the world as well. Yes.
Those that win, what is it that makes them stand out?
Oh, a lot of the things. Like when it comes to sustainable packaging, it's the design, it's a traceability of it, it's the materials that they're using, it's the impact that they have on the environment. And then there are some experts who go to another different level. They go to the issue of the microns and everything else. And so there's a lot that actually helps them to be able to win. Yeah.
How about consumers? Do consumers see all those things? So yeah, you've spent so much money in R&D, and then you've come up with this new packaging that everybody among your peers is looking at it and thinking, wow, Angela, you've done something. And then you bring it to the market. Is Eric going to notice?
I would say Eric will not notice to the small, minute details. He can be able to tell, like, it's good.
There's something.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah. But he won't go to that level of the Afista kind of level.
But will it influence Eric to actually pick this product because of the packaging? That's something else. Even without understanding exactly why, I can see this. There's something. There's something that's good about the packaging. Will it make me want to buy? Well,
yes,
that extra virgin oil, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Because you see, one of the things also when it comes to design, it's also the usability of it, and then also even handling. Because you can imagine if I brought you oil, but not in a bottle.
Where, in your hand?
Yeah.
I mean,
That would be tricky.
Yeah, you know.
Always depends on where you're coming from.
Yeah. So you see, so there are those things that also are assessed of it. Like, so that was a very basic example.
Yep.
But even by the time you're giving an award, is also how easy is it for the consumer to carry this thing that you're giving them. Yeah. And you'll find that at times you'd prefer buying something because if I was to, I don't know, go from, as you said today, we're going to Lanette. Yeah. If I was moving from here to Lanette tomorrow, will whatever I was carrying be damaged? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Will it be damaged? Will it be squeezed? Will it be, oh my, is it so bulky? I've ever carried something that is so bulky, and the thing that I have inside is so tiny. I'm just thinking, why? Yeah. Why do this to me? So basically, those are some of the things I also look at. Yeah.
Okay, you've mentioned traceability a couple of times, and I think there are many jurisdictions whereby you're able to trace something down to the lid that was used on the bottle. Do we have those mechanisms? Do we have those systems set up to then be able to trace that if something were to happen, you can?
I think we are in the beginning phases, but you're getting there. It's one of the things that a lot of companies are discussing, how to make it easier. Because see, again, there's also the part of follow-up. I can have it, but you may not have access to trace it. Yeah. So that is what is being discussed right now, and they're actually really working on it to be able, I think maybe even by next year, we'll be able to talk about something else in terms of the steps we've been able to make.
Okay. Let's work together even for the next year's event and see what we can do. Angela Kinyua, Portfolio Director at Montgomery Group East Africa, has been our guest. We've been talking about the state of packaging, printing, plastics and food processing industry in East Africa on the back of the ProPack East Africa event that was held in Nairobi recently. Keep it here for more conversations. Thank you very much, Angela, for coming in. It was a good one.
Yes, very. Okay. Thank you.
Karibu
it was a
sana.
pleasure.
Karibu. Come again soon.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.